The Zephyrian warships hung in Earth's orbit like dark metal storms, their hulls stretching for kilometers in every direction. Admiral Kethvar stood on the bridge of the flagship Dominion's edge, his 4 eyes scanning the blue-green world below with calculating precision. In his 3 centuries of conquest, he had witnessed the fall of 47 civilizations. Each had followed the same predictable pattern: terror, negotiation, and inevitable surrender. The humans would be no different. "Open the communication channel," Kethvar commanded, his voice carrying the authority of an empire that spanned 3 galaxy arms. The bridge fell silent as the transmission began, broadcasting simultaneously to every communication device on the planet below. "Primitive inhabitants of the 3rd planet." His words echoed across Earth's airwaves, translated into every human language by Zephyrian linguistic algorithms. "I am Admiral Kethvar of the Zephyrian Empire. Your world has been selected for integration into our domain. You have witnessed our fleet's arrival. You understand your situation. On Earth's surface, billions of humans stopped what they were doing. In New York, commuters stood frozen on subway platforms. In Tokyo, salarymen gathered around public screens. In Lagos, street vendors abandoned their stalls to listen. The message continued across every television, radio, and digital device on the planet. Your military capabilities are quaint. Your technology, while showing promise, remains centuries behind our own. Resistance would result in unnecessary casualties. Therefore, I offer you the standard terms: complete surrender within 72 of your hours. Submit to Zephyrian rule, and your species will be preserved as a productive member of our empire. Refuse, and face extinction. The transmission ended, leaving Earth in stunned silence. In the emergency session of the United Nations, Ambassador Chen Wei-Lin from the Earth Defense Coalition stood before the assembled representatives. The great hall buzzed with panicked whispers in dozens of languages. "The preliminary analysis is complete," Chen announced, her voice steady despite the magnitude of the moment. "Their ships number in the thousands. Each one outguns our entire combined fleet. Their shielding technology deflects our most powerful weapons. By every conventional metric, resistance appears futile." The word hung in the air like a death sentence. President Martinez of the Americas Federation leaned forward. "What are our options?" "Mathematically speaking." Dr. Sarah Okafor, Earth's leading xenobiologist, consulted her datapad. "We have a 0.03% chance of military victory. Their empire spans thousands of systems. They've never encountered successful resistance." "And yet," interrupted General Harrison from the European Coalition, "they gave us 72 hours. Why? If they're so superior, why not simply attack?" Dr. Okafor nodded thoughtfully. "Standard operating procedure according to intercepted communications. They prefer intact infrastructure and living populations, more efficient for resource extraction." "They're farmers," General Harrison realized. "And we're their crops." The debate raged for hours. Some argued for negotiated surrender, hoping to preserve human civilization under alien rule. Others demanded resistance regardless of the odds. Still others proposed fleeing to the outer colonies, abandoning Earth to save humanity's future. But in the end, when the vote was called, the result was unanimous. 71 hours and 47 minutes after the ultimatum, every human communication device activated simultaneously. The response came not from any government building or military command center, but from a small radio station in Dublin, where 12-year-old Emma O'Brien sat before a microphone her grandfather had used during the Irish independence movement. "This is Earth," she said simply, her young voice carrying across the planet and up to the alien fleet. Our answer is no. Admiral Kethvar's mandibles clicked in what his species considered amusement. He had expected flowery speeches about freedom and determination. Instead, a single word from a human child. How typical of primitives to let emotions override logic. "Begin the assault," he commanded. The Zephyrian fleet descended like avenging angels, their weapons charging with energy that could crack continents. But as they entered Earth's atmosphere, something unexpected happened. The humans fought back, not with their primitive missiles and energy weapons, which bounced harmlessly off Zephyrian shields. They fought with something the Admiral had never encountered in 3 centuries of conquest: absolute refusal to accept defeat. In the Australian outback, Aboriginal communities used their intimate knowledge of the land to vanish into terrain the aliens couldn't navigate. In the Amazon, indigenous warriors struck from canopy cover the Zephyrian sensors couldn't penetrate. In the Himalayas, Tibetan monks used ancient meditation techniques to remain invisible to thermal detection. But it was in the cities where the real surprise lay. New York's financial district became a maze of coordinated resistance. Office workers, who had never held weapons, became urban guerrillas, using their knowledge of subway tunnels and service corridors to strike and disappear. In Tokyo, Salarimen organized with the same precision they used for corporate projects, turning rush hour crowds into coordinated diversions. The humans didn't fight to win. They fought to make victory meaningless. Every captured human sabotaged alien equipment before dying. Every collaborator found their neighbors had vanished in the night. Every Zephyrian supply depot became a target for attacks that shouldn't have been possible with primitive human technology. They used bicycles to outmaneuver hover tanks in narrow alleys. They used kitchen chemicals to disable atmospheric processors. They used children's toys rigged with explosives to destroy irreplaceable alien components. Most bewildering of all, they seemed genuinely surprised that anyone expected them to do otherwise. 6 months into the occupation, Admiral Kethvar stood in his command center, staring at casualty reports that defied all strategic models. The humans had lost billions, but somehow they kept fighting. Worse, their resistance was spreading to other species across the Empire. "Sir," his aide reported nervously, "we're receiving surrender offers from the humans." Kethvar's mandibles clicked hopefully. "Finally, what are their terms?" "That's just it, sir. They're not offering to surrender to us. They're offering to accept our surrender." The Admiral stared at the message that had come from that same small radio station in Dublin, where Emma O'Brien, now 13, and broadcasting from a bombed-out basement, had sent another simple response to the Zephyrian Empire. "When you're ready to leave, just ask nicely." For the first time in his 3 centuries of conquest, Admiral Kethvar understood why some wars couldn't be won. The humans hadn't defeated his empire's technology or military might. They had simply refused to lose, and sometimes that was enough.